Ah,
I
man.
think so too, because those are, well, you have Impact, who has a really good women's division, so I could see them using her there. At the same time, AEW kind of needs stars in their women's division. They have, I can't remember the lady's name from Japan, and then I feel really bad about it, but they have her, they have Nyla Rose, and they have Britt Baker, and those are the main stars. They have others, and Chris Statlander, and a Rebel, and Big Swole, but I think filling out the roster, having Zelina would not be bad. But at the same time, it's like, where everyone's gonna be like, hey, everyone from WWE goes to AEW. No, it's just being realistic. Where can she fit in and do decent?
We talked about this before, on and off podcast. You know, well, they're just getting up, like you just said, WWE people. It's like the same thing WCW did. Well, WWE did it back in day two, for one. Number two is, it's just like any other job. If you lose your job or you quit your job, you have power to go work for somebody else in the same line of work.
Okay, they didn't just do it back then, though. You can argue that WWE in the last 5 years has been taking people from New Japan. Finn Balor, AJ Styles, the Good Brothers, Shinsuke Nakamura, Adam Cole. There's others that came from New Japan, but they're all those people right there are all from New Japan.
However, the only problem is that a lot of people are not going to consider AJ Styles in that conversation, though. I get what you're saying, but he would be a different subject. But you talk about Balor and so forth. I mean, I understand what you're saying by far. I do understand that.
Yeah. I mean, all of those people that I named besides Shinsuke were Bullet Club guys.
Yeah. It's the Shinsuke. No one ever heard of him. I mean, at least in America, you know, at least if you're not hardcore.
Cesaro came from Ring of Honor as Claudio Castagnoli.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, honestly. It's a lot of heart to, you know, and a lot of to read. What saying? Hang on.
Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly. Sorry, now I'm thinking of all the people that came from Ring of Honor.
What I'm trying to say about Shinsuke, a lot of people are saying that, you know, I'm a hardcore wrestling fan, so I know about Japan. I don't know a lot about Japan wrestling. I'm just going to say, KM knows more than I do about that stuff. I don't get involved. So, but Shinsuke, you know, they picked him up from Japan. Other people too. It's just that and also Ring of Honor. It's just go back to ECW. People pick them up. They'll look at Mankind.
Who the hell hired Johnny Polo?
Yeah, it's just, you know, of course, Mick came from WCW too, but it's
high hopes for that match.
It's anyway, you caught me off guard. Name all his names off now.
I have ADD, you know this, so
naming all people while I'm trying to make a discussion, man.
I can ask you.
Yeah, huh?
Nothing. What was that?
You not dang on ADD. That's you talk. I can't think.
Well, it's just I don't understand the casting stones against anyone that's not WWE. WWE 100% does the same goddamn thing. I just thought of another one from Japan, Ricochet. But they do the same thing. They pick up all these people from other companies that made their name in other companies. AJ being one of them, in Adam Cole. They use that name in Japan. So does Shinsuke, Carl Anderson. Gallows was a little bit different because, yes, he became Luke Gallows, but he was Doc Gallows in Japan. But these people, and at that point, WWE cut him. These people made their name over there, and they were just signing up everybody to try and prevent other companies from taking them. And at that point, it's just like a person having a birthday cake because it's their birthday, and then deciding everyone else can't have a slice. It's all for them.
Yeah.
And that's what WWE does. So you can't make this argument that other companies are picking up WWE people without taking into consideration that probably the only reason that's the case is because WWE thinks throwing money at people will prevent them from being able to be going somewhere else, or they do what they did to freaking Mike Bennett and Maria Kanellis.
Mm-hmm.
It's
if I own, go ahead.
You can't. I was going to say you can't make the argument that these are WWE people based on WWE's greed.
Oh, I hear you. Yeah, it's like if I owned a wrestling company, if I could afford to bring in these guys and girls from any company, and they have a name, especially, I'm gonna bring them in if I can afford them. And it's just why it's good business for one, smart business. And by the way, they need a job. That's it. They need a job just like anybody else does, and they decide to stay in that line of work. So, any of y'all out there have a job, you decide to quit your job, obviously you have to have a job to get lined up to, or at least going to. So you go to a different job somewhere. What's wrong with that? So, I know it's a different industry. I get that, but it's still, hey, they need a job. If you can afford them, go for it. And AEW is doing things creatively that WWE is not even close to doing.
If you had the chance to take on Joe Henning, what name would you have him go with?
If I had a chance to hire him in, well, if he would be okay with you, Joe Henning, I would say Joe Henning would be a pretty good name because that's a good legacy name.
Not Curtis Axel. What about Michael McGillicuddy?
Quite honestly, I hated those names. I did not. I mean, that's just especially Michael McGill. I was dumb as shit. But Curtis Axel, I get the fact that he's paying like a homage to the his daddy and granddaddy. I get that. I had no problem with that thought, but I just didn't like the name. I thought Joe Henning was a good name for him. Or if we don't use Joe, we'll use something else. But I never heard him really talk.
Ralph Henning.
Okay, not Ralph.
Speaking of Ralph, and I'm sorry, this is way off topic. I listened to an interview with Jericho recently. Did you hear that Ralphus got very full of himself?
Yes.
Apparently, when Jericho told him he was going to New York, Ralphus approached him and goes, "So, when are we going to New York?" He goes, "I'm going to New York."
It's not we. Yeah. Okay,
because I could try to see if they're interested in bringing you on, but don't you truck drive for WCW?
I remember him. That was Inside the Ropes. I think I said sent you that text message that link, but yeah, I seen that was hilarious.
That and the whole hey, I think I need a contract. You need a what?
A contract.
So the one thing I like is Jericho found this guy, made a character out of him, and then the guy got full of himself and thought he was bigger than Jericho. Oh, that's the other thing. You mentioned in the video, he was talking about how Jericho's supposed to be this heel, and then he hears cheering, and he turns around, and Ralph is like, yeah! What the hell are you doing? We're the bad guy. Well, they're cheering for me. They're not cheering for you. They're cheering for me. What?
That's hilarious. It's like, how much cheer? He got over so well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. It just sounds hilarious interview. If you have not checked it out, go to Inside the Ropes on YouTube and check out the Jericho interview. Sorry, y'all. I have allergies.
He just took a massive bong rip.
Oh, what? A massive what?
Bong rip.
Well, okay. Yeah. No, do not do that. Probably all of it. You don't know what bong rip is? Not really. I have to think about that.
Actually, I don't even know if you know what a bong is.
I actually do, I
think. Just to clarify, it's not an Atari game.
No. I think I know what that is. I think so.
Jericho tells great stories, but idea that he grabbed this truck driver as a joke, and then the truck driver's like, "I'm a star." The fuck happened? Did you see something that Kane's actually considering returning to the ring?
No, I did not see that. How is he going to return to the ring?
I don't know. Apparently, he doesn't want to be married anymore. I don't know. But yeah, apparently in an interview, he said he was open to returning to the ring.
Maybe like a here and there thing, but not like can't be full time.
What if the last match at Survivor Series for The Undertaker is against Kane?
Doubt it, but never say never. By the way, to clarify that, The Undertaker considers himself retired. However, he don't know what's going to happen this Sunday. Apparently, he's like, whatever they have planned, they have planned.
Firefly Funhouse. Let's do it.
Oh God, no! Please don't do that for his last match. I'm sorry, I can't. I mean, if it's just going to be him returning and then going to be around for a while, that's one thing. At least for a few months, do it, but don't make it his last match. That'd be, yeah, if he's gonna return to do a Firefly Funhouse, like the Rumble, something like that, and then he has his last match at Mania against hopefully it'd be Styles, at least. That's cool, but yeah, nah.
If the Undertaker comes out of an egg,
that would be hilarious. I'm sorry, his fear back in '90 was, oh God, please don't tell him to come out of this egg.
which I did 100% tweet out the picture of people that debuted at the Survivor Series. Although I'm a little disappointed that Gopal Guker was not included.
Are you seeing it? Oh man, we talked about that. I seen that tweet. I'm like, that's hilarious. I didn't even think about that when I was putting it on Facebook. I was like, yeah, that's hilarious.
You gotta have the real legend in there, you know?
Yeah, Gopal Guker, y'all. That was a legend, man.
Although, like, again, I have all these ideas relating to Taker being taken into the Funhouse for Survivor Series. I would definitely. I don't know. I just think it'd be kind of cool to go through all the characters and changes that they made for the Undertaker. Although I'm very partial to the American Badass version, so that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, in one sense, it's cool if he would just come do his usual Undertaker gimmick. However, it's being the reality of the wrestling world we have now, people know it's not really him. As far as like some people just want to see the real Mark Calloway. It would be interesting. I don't think they would use his real name. It would be interesting him being just Mark Calloway.
The Undertaker, Mark Calloway.
Well, they want to, yes.
But that's it's just whatever they decide to do.
We'll find out this Sunday.
Yeah, and I guess Sammy and Bobby Lashley are poking fun at each other on Twitter, setting up their match at Survivor Series.
I'm not totally big into this match, but I know there's going to be some interesting spots. I think definitely.
Well, you want to? I got to tell you about this exchange because it's pretty funny. So Lashley says, "Look at this guy, everyone. He speaks 4 languages. One language for every member of the Hurt Business that's going to have to deal with at Survivor Series. But you're a genius, right? I'm sure you can figure that one out with a bunch of clown of emojis." Zane replies, "Bobby, long time, man. Look, we could do this all again. Where I insult you, disparage your military service, invite your family down to the Thunderdome, etc. Or this time we could try something different and just compliment each other and say, I'll start. You're very jacked, sir." Bobby responds, "Well, thanks, man. I'll go now. You're very light on your feet, which makes it easier to throw you around like a rag doll. This is fun. Why didn't we do this before?" Zayn responds, "So fitting that for a call for peace is met with aggression from the United States champion." Zayn's little jabs at Bobby, I think it'll be one. I think Zayn's gonna get destroyed by Bobby. Make it clear at Survivor Series, but his little jabs are funny.
He's going to get destroyed, but I would like there to be some kind of fun spots in there as well. I don't want it to be just. I don't think it's quite a squash match, but we never know.
Well, I'm hoping so because I can't remember what pay-per-view it was, but when they had the IC title ladder match with AJ and Jeff Hardy with Sami Zayn, That was great.
Yeah, that really